Both IMT and the Marini MRP-750 are great machines in their class with similar capabilities in Kelly-bar and CFA, however vastly different when it comes to the following elements. The M-Tronic system that comes as a standard on the Marini is a substantial distinction between these two models. Another slight difference here between the Marini MRP-750 and the IMT A90 is the fact that the A90 has a segmental mast. However, I'm Mike Dobrota and this is TerraQUIP Talk. After years of providing drilling equipment solutions, I know that a project success hinges on reliable, high-quality rigs that meet your needs. So if you're ready to make smarter equipment decisions and build stronger foundations, let's get started. Last week, we spoke about the differences between the A45 and the Marini MRP-400. I was in the 16-ton class, our overlapping models. Now we're going to talk about our two other overlapping models, and that's the MRP-750 and the IMT A90, both in the 27-ton class machine. First, we'll have a look at and comment on the MRP-750 presentational video from Marini from the YouTube channel. So let's get into it. So this is just an undercarriage from the first drilling unit, the MRP-750, that was built by Marini back in February of this year, right before being launched at Bauma in Germany. I've had the privilege to be at the Marini factory quite a few times, and I can't stress this enough. If you have the chance to do it and visit and see how great they are over there, it's an awesome experience. That's a very cool shot there, showing the Marini MRP-750 logo with the tracks in the foreground. And here we have a close-up shot of the extendable undercarriage from the Marini MRP-750, which is quite a large undercarriage. If you think about it, it's expandable from 2.5 meters in transport mode to 3.5 meters in working mode, whereas the IMT A90 is slightly smaller. It only expands to 3.2 meters width. Before we move on to the next shot, I just want to say, like, if you have a quick look, the Marini MRP-750, it's quite a nice machine. Like, the overall craftsmanship is pretty good on this machine. If you look at the quality of the welds, the joints, it's pretty robust, pretty strong. It looks pretty nice. So the MRP-750 is built on the Marini it's a proprietary Marini undercarriage. They don't work with an excavator base for this one, and they use a John Deere engine. But we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. The A90 also is an IMT base, but it's built with a Cummins engine and a Rexroth Bosch hydraulics. Okay, you can see here the tilting cylinders lifting up the mast in working condition, and you can see there on the right, if you pay attention to the details, as I said, the MRP-750 is quite an impressive machine. You can see there the hydraulic hoses, how they're really well, nicely wrapped in Kevlar, I think it's called the material. Another major difference between the two models, the MRP-750 and the A90, is again the centralized lubrication system that's present on the MRP-750, whereas the A90, same as with the A45, you kind of have to go like individually and grease the machine manually, which is perfectly fine. It's not a huge difference, but it is a point of difference that's worth mentioning. Another difference here is the parallelogram system with the MRP-750 that extends the drilling attachment further in front of the tracks compared to the A90, which positions the drilling axis closer to the body of the machine and to the center of the gravity of the machine. Both the MRP and the 750 have their main winches placed on the mast, on the lower part of the mast, as well as the crowd winch. However, the auxiliary winch on the A90 is placed on the base machine, whereas the 750, you can see here, it's placed on the mast. Another major difference between these two machines is the fact the MRP-750 comes equipped with a motor reducer with triple chain link, which allows the translation of the rotary through the entirety of the mast, as well as a fast conversion from Kelly-bar to CFA, whereas the A90 still also has the translation of the rotary through the entirety of the mast, but it's that they achieve that with a winch crowd system. Now, the biggest difference between these two units is the fact that the MRP-750 has the ability to be converted into a micro drilling rig for anchoring, or self-drill anchors, or whatever micro drilling application, whereas the A90 is more of a traditional piling rig for Kelly-to-CFA and low headroom. We saw there in the previous shot, the main winch, which is located on the bottom of the mast for both the MRP-750 and the A90. And they're both very similar in values, 8 tons pullback capacity on the 750 and 10 tons capacity on the A90. Very similar values. So with this, we're going to get into the shot of the cabin. The cabins are very similar between the two models, being made by Eurocab, which is an Italian manufacturer of cabins. And that gives TerraQUIP an advantage here because we can better support both models in terms of components found in the cabin, such as the windows or the glasses. As mentioned in the comparison in the previous episode between the MRP-400 and the A45, the M-Tronic system on the Marini that comes as a standard is a substantial distinction between these two models. Now, the 750 being equipped with an M-Tronic system gives you the ability to give the operator a more in-depth parameter display, not only of the engine, but the hydraulics and the drilling details, as well as additional help and instructions when it comes to, let's say, servicing, regular maintenance, instructions about the rig up or the conversion processes. The MRP-750 comes equipped with a John Deere Tier 4 engine capable of developing 140 horsepower, whereas the A90 comes with a Cummins engine, a 3.8 liters, that's capable of developing 136 horsepower. You can see there the hydraulic system on the MRP-750, very nice and neatly done. The Marini MRP-750 also comes in built with a slightly longer and wider crawler base compared to the A90, giving it the ability to perform slightly deeper CFA piles thanks to the segmental extendable mast, which gives the operator, the users, the ability to feed a longer CFA auger string. So just to give you some values here, the 750 can fit a 13 meters auger string, whereas the A90 can fit an 11.5 meter auger string, plus of course the 3.5 meters extension, giving the A90 a total of about 15 meters CFA depth, whereas the MRP-750 gives the ability of about 18 meters in CFA. In CFA, the capacity of the main functions are very similar. For instance, the extraction force on the MRP-750 is 24 tons, whereas on the A90 is very similar with 22 tons. The pullback force is 12 tons on the A90, whereas on the MRP-750 is about 10 tons. In terms of torque, both units come equipped with similar rotaries capable of developing 75 kilonewton meters and 90 kilonewton meters on the A90. It looks like a very well balanced, very sturdy, robust machine. The way it's built, I don't know. It just gives the maybe because of the logos or the way the panels are done. I've seen it in Germany at Bauma where it was launched this year, and it looked like a really impressive machine. Now, we do have a little bit more experience with the A90 because the A90 was launched 2.5, 3 years ago. And we managed to sell 4 units in Australia in our area. So we do have a little bit more experience with the A90s because it was introduced at an earlier stage. But I have the confidence that the 750 is just as great of a machine, just again, slightly different because of different benefits and different elements, the way it's built. Okay, now let's look at the IMT A90 winch rod system video, which is a video that we published 6 months ago, about a year ago. And it's a video that basically looks at the advantages of this machine. And same thing, I will stop it as we go, and I will present the differences between the predecessor, the previous machine, the MRP-750. Just quickly, guys, if you need reliable drilling equipment for your next project, at TerraQUIP Drilling Equipment, we offer tailored solutions with top-tier support that meets your needs. Contact us using the link below to find out more. Now back to the episode.
The new IMT A90 winch crowd system brings together innovative technology and improved functionality to enhance the performance of the IMT machines in the 28-ton class.
So I'll just say this, the IMT A90 was based on its smaller sisters, the A70 and the A75, which were great, very successful units. However, their downside was the fact that they didn't come with a parallelogram system. They come with just a simple boom articulation, which meant that when you would jeep down, the entire mast would tilt forward, and then you have to readjust the position every single time. Whereas the parallelogram gives you the ability to maintain the verticality. In fact, the A70 and the A75 were the only machines from IMT that came without a parallelogram system. So it was something very unique that they tried. They tried to be a bit more, I guess, price competitive at that time. We still sold 7 of them, I think, 7 units of the A70 and the A75. But the A90 was meant to fix that last little problem, which was the parallelogram system.
Parallelogram system instead of articulated boom. The A90 is based on the very successful and powerful A70, but improved with a parallelogram system that allows maintaining the verticality when jibbing out away and towards the machine, and ensures a longer reach in front of the tracks.
Ensures a longer reach in front of the track, that is true. However, the MRP-750 has an even longer reach in front of the track because of a larger parallelogram system and slightly larger undercarriage.
Advanced winch crowd system. The IMT A90 is equipped with a winch crowd system fitted at the back of the mast, with a simple rope system that allows...
I love the winch crowd system and this advanced winch crowd system, and the reason being we have asked IMT to deliver, to give us a machine like this for a while. And this is also an improvement for the A70 that didn't have this option. What this basically means is the fact that we can do segmental casing, we can do extremely fast conversion from Kelly-bar to CFA, and basically a more versatile machine. Also the fact that in CFA, it's capable of combining the main winch pull as well as the crowd winch at the same time. So it's a very, very smart system that gives us a lot of versatility. And I think a lot of the clients, they love this. This will become, I'm pretty sure, one of our bread and butter models.
Due to the strategic placement of the crowd winch on the back of the mast and the innovative structural design, the conversion to CFA is very fast, safe and efficient, and can be achieved in less than 4 hours. J-lock system. Equipped with an advanced rotary that can work with both multi-lock and J-lock style Kelly-bar. The ones ordered for the Australian and New Zealand market come with 428 mechanical J-lock.
Again, IMT is a traditional multi-lock style Kelly-bar that they fit on the machines. They love that, and it's a great system. Don't get me wrong; it's very practical. Gives you the ability to lock the rotary onto the Kelly-bar, whatever you want. However, on the downside, they're not as reliable in terms of time. They wear a little bit quicker than their J-lock traditional, than the J-lock system. So with the A90 and what we do for the Australian and New Zealand market, if we bring the machine for our stock, we bring it standard now with J-lock style Kelly-bar. However, we still have the multi-lock system that we can order specifically for particular clients that love this system, and we have quite a few of them. I would say the market is split like 50-50. Whereas on the MRP-750, it comes traditionally just with the J-lock style system, and also the Kelly-bar is slightly different there, the configuration in terms of elements and the way it's locking. I'm not gonna get into too many details about that because obviously the time doesn't allow me, but there is a difference in the Kelly-bar as well and the way they are configured.
Increased rotary power. Rotary installed torque is now 90 kilonewton per meter, instead of 70 kilonewton per meter as its predecessor.
So in terms of torque, as we said here, the A90 has 90 kilonewton meters, whereas the MRP-750 has, that's where the name comes from, the 7.5 tons per meter, or 70 kilonewton meters.
Incorporating a more powerful main winch, now capable of developing 100 kilonewton pull in first layer.
Very similar values here between the A90 main winch and the Marini. They have a similar main winch.
Lightweight design, a focus on reducing weight without sacrificing strength, improving the overall performance of the drilling rig, and reducing the fuel consumption.
As I mentioned earlier, with the IMT A90, the parallelogram system is, it brings the, yes, extends in front of the tracks, gives the ability, let's say in CFA, to drill 360 degrees. However, it's still closer to the body of the machine compared to the MRP-750, which offers a more in front of the tracks, a further, let's say, drilling attachment in front of the tracks.
Adaptability, the ability to adjust to different drilling environments and projects, making the IMT A90 a versatile choice for various applications in the drilling industry.
Now, with the A90, there's a really big advantage here. If you look at how compact it is, because of a very small footprint, we actually have experience with this on some Australian job sites where space is such a scarce thing. The real estate is very valuable. This machine really punches above its weight for how powerful it is compared to its footprint and the way the tail swing radius moves on the back, how far back it moves.
Reduced maintenance, improved engineering that leads to a system that requires less frequent maintenance, cutting down on labor costs and enhancing overall productivity.
So the IMT traditionally wants to put out there, wants to build, and are building a very simple machine, very simple to maintain in terms of regular maintenance. It's beautiful as a technician to work on an IMT, and that's simply because of how much space it gives you when you look at the hydraulic bay, the engine, where it's placed, where all the filters are. Much easier machine to drill than any other other brands that we looked at. As well as in comparison to Marini, as I said, it was just launched at Bauma. We don't have as much experience with that part just yet, but I know Marini in general also emphasizes their maintenance and their support and the way you look after their machines.
Sustainability, with an emphasis on eco-friendliness, the Stage 4 final Cummins engine minimizes the overall environmental impact through noise reduction, reduced emissions, and overall reduced fuel and oil consumption.
So the Cummins, as I said, the Cummins 3.8 liters engine is quite a powerful model. It's still not a tier 3, it's a tier 4, which means it's more environmentally friendly. However, it is a little bit more complicated. You got to look after it. It's got the urea tank, which is the AdBlue, requires a bit more servicing. That's just because you can't just get a Cummins 3.8, or you can't get that class of engines in tier 3 anymore. They're only in tier 4 coming now. But the MRP-750 is also similar because it's got the John Deere, which is kind of similar as well as tier 4 final engine. Yeah, the 27, 28 ton class machine, if we look at what was sold in Australia for the last, I guess, 20 years, it's a very, very popular model. And we're lucky, we're fortunate to have two models in this segment, even though they're overlapping. As I said, they are vastly different models, vastly different machines, offering their own unique advantages and benefits. Another slight difference here between the Marini MRP-750 and the IMT A90 is the fact that the A90 has a segmental mast. However, MRP-750 has also a segmental mast that gives you the ability to convert it in different CFA lengths. So the mast can be in low headroom, Kelly bar, can be in standard CFA, as well as in extended CFA on the Marini MRP-750, whereas the A90 comes with traditional mast in CFA, a single length. You don't need to touch it when you convert from Kelly to CFA. However, when you go to low headroom, it gives you the ability to work in under 7.8 meters length, and of course by removing the upper part of the mast. In conclusion, guys, both IMT and the Marini, the MRP-750 are great machines in their class with similar capabilities in Kelly bar and CFA. However, vastly different when it comes to the following elements: auxiliary functions, micro drilling ability on the MRP-750, winch crowd system versus motor feed reducer, M-Tronic system on the Marini MRP-750, and last but not least, the price point. So if you're in the market for a very versatile drilling rig capable of micro drilling, Kelly-to-CFA and low headroom drilling with an in-depth computer system, you can afford the extra 10-15% in price, then the MRP-750 is the machine for you. However, if you're only after a simple, traditional, large diameter piling rig that fastly converts in Kelly-to-CFA and low headroom, then the IMT A90 is the better choice. We're happy to support you with any of these two models that we compared here, and we're certainly looking forward to hearing from you. Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. It's the best way to support us. Thanks for tuning in to TerraQUIP Talk. If you enjoyed this episode, the best way to support us is by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube so you never miss an episode. You can also find out more from me on all social media platforms. The links are below. Until then, remember, if it's not turning, you're not earning.